हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम बैक टू आवर चैनल। आज हम क्लास 9 ज्योग्राफी सब्जेक्ट के चैप्टर 7 के क्वेश्चन आंसर्स देखेंगे। तो चलिए बिना देरी किए वीडियो को शुरू करते हैं। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, टू बॉक्सेस इन डिफरेंट हेमिस्फीयर आर गिवन इन द फॉलोइंग डायग्राम। द आइडियल passes through both the boxes. In one box the meridian day and date is given. Find the day and date for the other box. फर्स्ट का आंसर है ट्यूसडे 16 अगस्त, सेकंड का आंसर है संडे 25 दिसंबर। सेकंड क्वेश्चन, सेलेक्ट द करेक्ट ऑप्शन। फर्स्ट, व्हाइल क्रॉसिंग द आइडियल अ पर्सन विल हैव टू ऐड वन डे व्हेन ट्रैवलिंग फ्रॉम। आंसर ईस्ट टू वेस्ट। सेकंड, इफ इट इज वेडनेसडे 10 am at 15 degree east meridian, then what will be the time at ideal? Answer Wednesday 9 pm. Next, according to the international convention, at which meridian does the day and date change occur? Answer 180 degree. Next, at which direction of the ideal does the new day start immediately? Answer west. Next, ideal brings coordination in which of the following? Answer transportation schedules. Third question, give geographical reason. First, ideal is proving to be very useful in today's times. Answer, ideal is proving to be very useful to keep a track of all the calculation of day and time, especially in today's modern era of rapidly happening and global development. The ideal is also useful for coordinating between international airlines, transportation services, economic and trade activities. It is only because of the ideal that the schedule of the traffic of global transportation worldwide are organized properly, especially with respect to the airways. Hence, we can say that the ideal is proving to be very useful in today's times. Second question, the day start in a Pacific Ocean on the earth. Answer, while one travel from east to west, there is a difference of 12 hours from prime meridian 0 meridian to the 180 degree meridian. Conventionally, the start and end of the date is considered to be at 180 degree meridian. The ideal is drawn in such a way that its maximum part coincide with the 180 degree meridian, and to avoid the confusion in the day and time on land, an attempt has been made to make the ideal pass through the Pacific Ocean completely. As per the international convention, the day on the earth start in the west of the ideal and end in the east of the ideal. As the ideal passes through the Pacific Ocean, the day start in Pacific Ocean on the earth. Fourth question, write in brief. First, what consideration have been made while deciding the ideal? Answer, the following consideration have been made while deciding the international deadline ideal. First, direction of traveling. The direction of one's travel, that is from west of the ideal to east of the ideal, or from east of the ideal to west of the ideal. Second, the current day and date. The current day and date at the time changes while crossing the ideal as per the direction of traveling. For example, while traveling from west to east of ideal, the same day should be considered after crossing the ideal. On the other hand, while traveling from east to west of ideal, one day has to be added after crossing the ideal. Third, passes through ocean. An attempt has been made to make the ideal pass through the Pacific Ocean completely to avoid confusion of different dates and times on land areas. Second question, while crossing the ideal, what changes will you make? Answer, one has to remember that with reference to the ideal, the day on the earth starts in the west of the ideal and ends in the east of the ideal. Hence, it is an international convention to change the day and time while crossing the ideal. While traveling from east of the ideal to west of the ideal, one day has to be added after crossing the ideal. On the other hand, while traveling from west of the ideal to east of the ideal, one has to continue with the same day after crossing the ideal. Question, why is the ideal not a straight line like the 180 degree meridian? Answer, if ideal passed through the land part of some country, it would have lead to confusion of two different dates and day in the same country. Besides being an imaginary line, it would have been difficult to track when and where exactly the ideal has been crossed. Hence, to avoid confusion, international deadline was drawn in such a way that it will pass through only the Pacific Ocean. Fourth question, why doesn't the ideal pass through land? Answer, if ideal pass through land, part of some country, it would have led to confusion of two different dates and day in the same country. Besides being an imaginary line, it would have been difficult to track when and where exactly the ideal has been crossed. Hence, to avoid confusion, international deadline was drawn in such a way that it will pass through only Pacific Ocean. Fifth question, why is the ideal considered with respect to 180-degree meridian only? Answer, according to the international convention, the start and end of a date is considered to be at 180-degree meridian. This is because when one crosses the 180-degree meridian from east or west, there is a difference of 12 hours from prime meridian. Accordingly, an adjustment or change in day and times is made at 180-degree meridian. Due to this reason, the ideal is considered with respect to the 180-degree meridian only. Fifth question, using an atlas, tell in which of the following routes the ideal will cross and show them on the map. Answer, the following routes will cross the ideal. First, Mumbai, London, New York, Los Angeles, Tokyo. Second, Kolkata, Hong Kong, Tokyo, San Francisco. Third, Chennai, Singapore, Tokyo, Sydney, Santiago. The following routes will not cross the ideal. First, Delhi, Kolkata, Singapore, Melbourne. Next, Delhi, London, New York. स्टूडेंट यहाँ हमारे चैप्टर 7 के क्वेश्चन आंसर कंप्लीट हो गए हैं। अगर आपको वीडियो हेल्पफुल लगा हो तो वीडियो को लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलिए। मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में।